Hey, can you guys hear me? Shit. Yeah, what up? Just got up a bit ago. Transmog farm? Yeah, something like that. I'm just hoping I'll be able to get some stuff today. Sonny just rolled out of bed. Yeah, I went to Sonic and I bought a hot dog. I ate a hot dog and now I'm chilling. That's basically where we're at. Glizzy, yeah. But yeah, I did that, and now I'm just kind of relaxing, playing my game, you know, the usual shit. Did you try a storm out? No, there's no reason to. The mount looks cool. I mean, the thing is that it's like, I don't think you lose anything by admitting the mount looks cool, right? Because, like, it has to look cool or nobody would buy it. And it's just like, it's what makes sense. Damn, this shit takes forever, man. Like, they need to change that. Circle of Zackrawrr. What the fuck is that, dude? Oh my god. Oh, I got Mr. Bird over here. We gotta kill Mr. Bird. That looks cool, but there's no value and everyone's got it. There's no value because it's just fucking, you spend money and you get them out. Like, what value could it possibly have? It's just you spend money, you get them out. I mean, fuck. So, like, what do? I throw I throw it at one of these? Oh, I don't want to even, like, do I even need to kill this guy? Oh no, I need to get a cloak from him. Fuck. Alright, let me do this. There he is. I need to remember to summon this thing. This thing does a lot of damage. Locking content between PayPal value. Yeah, it's just stupid. As a new chair, it's good. As I said, it's higher than my old one, so I've gotta raise my desk. But I like the chair. It's very firm, and so I think that's a good thing because, like, I don't really like firm chairs, but I think as with any chair and like any padding, it will become less firm over time. And I think that's good because the last chair that I bought was not firm, and it's like now there's like no padding on the bottom of it at all. So that's where we're at. Levers make it lower. Yeah, but it's as low as it goes. On a mainstream, I usually don't stream on Fridays. I've just wanted to just kind of game off stream and just play, you know? I mean, you guys have to remember, like, I do play video games sometimes on my own, right? Yeah, it's like, I probably maybe should have streamed today, because there's, like, all that politics stuff going on, but, I just don't really, like, woke up late and I just want to chill. What's this bullshit? Reverse raid, give me a 10-hour intro segment. Yeah, some people are really pissed off about it. It's like, I think anybody could have seen this shit coming. I mean, of course it was gonna happen. There's a lot of people that don't like abortion. Who cares? Well, it is kind of a big deal, right? I mean, I would say it's a big deal. I mean, maybe everybody doesn't think that, but I don't know. I think it's a big deal. It's like, there's a... I think there's a, like this, like, narrative that goes around that, like, men don't want abortions and women do. I think there's a lot of women that don't want abortions, too. I don't know. I find that the conversations around it... I think that you can make an argument, what do you call it? You can make an argument that, like, an unborn kid is like another person, right? You know, I think it's fair to make that argument. But it's just, to me, you know, I'm much more of a utilitarian, and so it seems like it's smarter to let people do it. It's like you have a world where there's limited resources, and you know, there's only so many things you can, so many people you can help and things you can do. Give me a minute, sorry. One thing I'm actually kind of curious about is that, like, how many other countries, like, let you have abortions, right? Because I'm not really even sure. There's probably a lot of people that don't let you even have, a lot of places that don't even let you have abortions at all. And, like, what the laws on it are. Reverse way gets rid of abortions. I find that it's I find that it's a reasonable assumption to make that if you make something against the law, that less people will do it. I think that's a pretty fair assumption to make. I think generally it's true as well. You can't ban abortions. No, you can. The thing is, like, you can't ban anything, right? You can't ban heroin. You can't ban guns. You can't ban anything. This is because people just break the law. Like, that's not really a good. That's not a good measurement of success. Just a sec. Other countries ban guns. It's worked out well for them. No mass shootings like we have here. Yeah, I don't think that the reason why, like, I think there's a lot of reasons why America has mass shootings, and guns are only one of them. I think it's like, there's like 5 or 6 different reasons. McConnell wants to do Mythic Cahoon. Maybe we'll do Mythic Cahoon. I'll think about it. It's too early in the morning for me to think about Mythic Cahoon. Gun's the main one. Well, like, for example, you have, like, with guns, I find it to be it is a compelling thing to think that there were, like, many years where people were able to, you know, have guns and, like, shooting clubs in school, and you know, mass shootings like we have now didn't really become a thing until maybe 30 years ago. And so I don't think that the answer is only guns until Columbine, right? And so it's like, why are guns the problem exclusively whenever we've had guns the whole time, but Columbine was recently? You see what I'm saying? I don't think it's as simple as just ban guns and mass shootings go away. Okay. Its entire culture of USA at start. It's a good start. Yeah, I don't really find that, as I said, I think that somebody should be able to own a handgun or a rifle. I'm generally pro Second Amendment. Not in all cases, and I think that whenever you want to talk about like a machine gun or something like that, it's a different story. But yeah, I'm pretty pro Second Amendment. The problem is mental decline and health, not guns. I don't know. I feel like people play hot potato with this shit. I think there's a lot of reasons why. It's a variety of reasons. Yeah, I think so. What the fuck? Damn, he's dying fast. This is what I like to see. Not that bullshit where you sit around for like an hour and wait for this guy, some mob to die. I don't understand like what the logic is in this game. Yeah, I really don't. Zero ideological interest people committed a school shooting. It's always some QAnon Republican or some deranged mega SJW. I think that there's a lot of times, I mean, it's like if I had like the power to like, you know, make any sort of a change, I would probably approach it in like 3 different ways. You know, I would look at like how all the ways that, like, well, the first thing to do, right, is you look at every single shooting that happens and you figure out like how did each one of these people get a gun, right? And you figure out, it's like, okay, is this something that you can control, or is this something that, you know, is it something else? And you kind of work backwards from there. And it's like, okay, what were these people's home life likes, like, or home lives like? You know, what kind of media did they consume, right? Common denominators, yeah. Yeah, so and so, like, in my opinion, I think it's mental health. I think it's probably, like, you could probably say it's ease of access to, like, guns. Sure, I think so. I think there's a lot of other things, too. I think it's culture, it's the media, and the way the media portrays mass shootings. I think that it's the economic state of the country. I think there's a lot of reasons why. Since they ban guns, can't you just use a sword? Well, I mean, London had that problem, right, in the UK with, like, knives. It's my understanding, at least. I don't live there. It could just be completely fucking wrong, but that's what I hear. And, it's hard to really know, like, what's real. Because, like, the media and, like, people only present a one-sided perspective of things. That's me, not you. So yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, it's obvious that, like, you can kill more people with a gun than a knife, you know? I mean, unless you're fucking, you know, a master samurai. You're probably gonna be able to kill a lot more people with a gun than a knife. A ninja, yeah. Talk about them overturning Roe vs. Wade. I mean, there's not really much to say. I think conservatives will probably, like, what I'm seeing, and this is just kind of like, this is my read on the situation, is that I think conservatives are gonna have, like, a massive resurgence in the next, like, 5 or 10 years. And whenever that happens, I could see them making abortion illegal. That's what I said, but, you know, so with Trump, right? Even whenever it happened, it's like, you know, this is only the beginning, right? Trump is like the first draft. Because, like, to be honest, like, Trump is really not, Trump was very problematic, you know? There's a lot of things wrong with him. He was an asshole, right? I mean, he's very unlikable in many ways, right? And so I think what you saw with Trump is going to happen much more. I liked him. Yeah, but I mean, like, you can admit Trump. Like, there are a lot of things I liked about Trump too. Yeah, sure. But, like, he's a fucking asshole, man. Like, he's a fucking asshole. Like, I mean, he is. Do you think the US president should be as old as Biden? I don't think age really plays a factor. There are people that develop dementia in their 50s and other people that don't develop it and they're 100 years old. I think cognitive ability should be looked at more than age. Alright, I'm good. Oh my god. Need some gladiator grinding streams? Yeah. I wish. I need to get a team. Biden did steal the election. I never really believed in that. I think that if COVID didn't happen, I think Trump would have won. I feel like it's not an unreasonable assumption that, you know, like a national, like the thing is people, like a lot of countries were affected by COVID, but people view it, and the media and, you know, his opponents played it off as if it was his fault, like COVID is because of Trump. And I think also, like, just generally what happens is that anything that bad that happens whenever somebody's president is their fault. It doesn't matter if it's like September 11th, COVID, or it's something that's good, like killing Osama bin Laden, right? Like, all this is just what happens, is it? And so, like, it happens, and I think most average people make presidential decisions like this. They ask themselves a simple question: are things going good for me right now? And the truth is that in the middle of COVID, things were not going good for a lot of people. And because of that, they voted for somebody different. I think the same thing's, I don't think Biden's going to win again. I find it to be very unlikely because of the recession. But the thing is, like, there's a lot of people. Is he going to live, though? Yeah, Biden will be fine. But yeah, that you see kind of what I'm saying. You know, the candidate has a chance is Bernie because he appeals to both sides. I think that Bernie has... The problem is that there are like a lot of social issues that people are like extremely divided on. And I don't really know like what his stance on some of those are, so I think a lot of people this time coming up, we're gonna see a lot of decisions made that are based off of like social grounds. And I think this is going to become more and more the case, is because you can, I mean, anybody can vote, right? So voting platforms and political platforms will be reduced down to social and identity politics, and things like economics and more complex issues will not really be addressed or even talked about, which is what I think that, I mean, I think Bernie Sanders has, like, where his strengths are is, you know, in terms of consistency and common sense economic practices. Like, I think that's the place where a lot of people actually agree with him. I don't know if he'll run again or not. Ready for Vicus? Yeah, I am. Probably do Lost Ark later on today. Do you believe in global warming? I don't believe in global warming. I believe in climate change. I do believe that... I believe that people do make an impact on the environment. "51 fucking attempts, 51 boxes, 51 dicks in the ass. I am so sick of this piece of shit game. Come on, please, just give it to me." How much does change humans have an impact? How bad? Only time will tell. I don't know. I find it to be very... I don't know why. I really don't know why there are so many people that are in denial of that. Because it doesn't make sense to me why so many people don't believe it. over sway is going to push more people to vote Democrat? No, I don't think so. I think that if you want to win people over, win. People will view this as a conservative win, because it really kind of is. So whenever people see conservatives winning, I think a lot of people vote for who they think is going to win. And if you want people to like you, win. If you want people to respect you, win. If you want people to agree with you, win. And that's it. Power is a very strong what's the word for it? It's a very strong argument. It's a drive. It's a not a motivator. It's a persuasive tool. Yes, power is an extremely powerful persuasive tool, because if you can show people that you can actually do something and make an impact, people will respect that. And even people that disagree with you will respect that. Nobody respects weakness. Nobody respects not being able to, you know, turn your words into actions. And that's just the truth. That's why people respected Trump, and it's why he lost too. I think that one thing that really hurt Trump a lot is whenever he would do like these big executive orders and then they would get overturned. Like if Trump had built the wall and Trump had done like a bunch of other like crazy shit, if he had actually been like way more extreme with what he did, and like, you know, the travel ban had stayed, and I don't even really agree with the travel ban, right? I think it's a bit much, right? But overall, if he had done those things, he'd still be president, 100%. Because people would see a win. People vote for winners. That's why people like DeSantis so much, is because DeSantis wins. Because he's the fucking governor, right? That's all there is to it. And that's why, and you think about it as like that's what the difference in the mind of a lot of people that talk politics is between DeSantis and Trump, is that DeSantis actually gets things done. It's the same reason why I think a lot of times, like, you don't have very short presidents either. You know, most presidents are pretty tall. Like, Trump's like 6'2", Obama's like 6'1". I don't know about Biden. I mean, but like almost every president's over 6 feet tall. And why is that? It's because people view height with power. It's just that simple. It's like you can try and pretend like these are not factors, but I think everybody knows deep down that they are. Ask Napoleon about that. Napoleon was 5'9". It's not like Napoleon was 5'3". And also back then, it was a very different culture, and it was a completely different place in the world. Kim Jong-un's 5 feet, though? Yeah, and that's why he didn't get elected, though, you know? I think that also, like, you can look at some people and be like, oh, well, this is the case, or whatever. I think that, like, you're like, oh, what about Vladimir Putin, or what about Napoleon, or something like that. I think both of these guys are, like, of average height, also, like, they're not really short. And on top of that, you can't really look at exceptions and then say like, oh, well, there's 5 guys, there's like, you know, 100 world leaders out there, and 3 of them don't follow this this general rule. Don't forget Lincoln. Lincoln was like 6'4", I think. He was tall. Do you agree with the verdict? No, I don't. As I said before, I've always been a pretty big supporter of people having autonomy over their body and being able to choose what they do and don't do with their body. I think it's a better it's a better place for people to be able to make decisions for themselves without the government making it. I think in general, like there are a lot of things that I think, especially in terms of like structurally, I think it's a much better idea to, you know, have regulation and have government control. But whenever you talk about like an individual person's rights, I think it's very important that somebody's able to have autonomy over, you know, their own life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The overturn today means forced vaccinations are incoming. I don't think anybody cares about COVID anymore. There's nobody who's willing to like risk that. Like there's nothing to be gained there. It's not gonna happen. Yeah, nobody cares about COVID. Where's the other one? Malfunctioning, things slain. Do you think weekly vault for mounts could be good? Yeah, it could be an interesting idea, sure. Some guy at my job is still scared of COVID, kind of sad. I think that, I think there's a reason why people could be afraid of it, right? Yeah, sure. Like, I don't know, I don't want to, like, make decisions for, like, what other people should and shouldn't think. Yeah, people could have health issues or, like, you know, a default breathing problem, and so it's like, yeah, it freaks them out. I think so. I think that's fair. Persuade, convince people vote blue in 2024. Yeah, see, I don't think that's going to happen. As I said, I think it's going to be the opposite. I think a lot of conservatives are, in general, pretty demoralized. Because, you know, I think Trump was, I think Trump for a lot of people was a pretty big disappointment. And like, maybe I'm just saying, maybe I'm just saying this as my own personal opinion, but I think that a lot of people were disappointed, including me, with like what happened with Trump. So I think it was a very demoralizing thing for Republicans to have somebody who they thought was gonna just, you know, come in there, drain the swamp, fucking put crooked Hillary in jail, you know, fucking take Lion Ted to task and just kind of, you know, get shit done, and it didn't happen, right? And so I think a lot of people were very disappointed about that, and I think today you're gonna see a lot of, and in the future here, you're gonna see a lot of conservatives that are very what's the word for it? They're emboldened by today's decision, and you'll see again, like, people respect winners, and I think that strain of persuasion is much stronger with conservatives and Democrats as well. So I think it'll be even more powerful. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know. I mean, like, this is not, I'm not sure, but That's what I think. Or do anything when the world's against you? Yeah, well that's the thing, right? Is like, if you show people that like actually there is a path to victory and you can win and you know everything like that, it's a massive motivator for people. Is one viewed as bullies as ignoring the majority for their extreme religious views? I don't think that's what they think they are. I think, yeah, there are people that dislike them and disagree with them that think they're bullies, but in their mind, they're saving babies, right? So it's like, it's very easy to look at things from the perspective of your viewpoint, but you have to look at it from the perspective of another person's viewpoint and like how they're perceiving it. Because if you can't do that, you can't predict what they're gonna do. And if you can't predict what somebody's gonna do, then they're gonna beat you every time. So babies, what happens after it's born? I mean, I don't, like, this is not an opinion that I have. I'm not making this argument. I'm just saying this is what they think. And this is what I'm saying, is like some people are so, they're so emotionally attached to their own opinions, they can't even, it's hard for them to even perceive what happens whenever somebody with a different opinion or somebody expresses a different opinion just as a statement. Like, I don't support that at all. I think they're punishing the wicked. It's they're righteous avengers. Yeah, of course that's what they think. Problem is, a lot of people don't think with logic if it's religiously based. I don't think that it's religiously based. Like, I do think that you can make an argument, and it's fair to say that a baby in like a mother's body is like its own person. Sure, I think you can say that. I find it to be, I think you have a very strong argument that that's the case. And it's a morality based argument. It's never been, I don't think it ever was about a technicality. It's just people argue it based off of a technicality. The same religion doesn't inform opinion of many people that think it should be illegal. I don't know what you mean. Oh, religion doesn't inform opinion? Oh, no, you're right. I do think that, like, yeah, of course, a lot of people believe this because their religion says that, for sure. But, like, what I'm saying is that I think if you remove religion from the equation, you'll still have the same arguments. There's 2 people here. 3. Well, let's just do it. Oh. How else do you define life? I mean, I don't think that it really matters. It's like you're trying to argue something that's not, like, you can't beat a moral or a emotional argument with rationality. Trust me, I've tried this many times. It doesn't work. People don't think that because it's illogical. They think that it's their emotions. You're freaking out over nothing. This gives more rights to the states. Well, I don't really think that, like, I'm not a big states' rights enjoyer. If you want me to be honest with you, I'm not. I find that all that really does is it outsources tyranny to your neighbor. I think that you have a lot, there's a much higher rate, I think, of corruption with state governments. And I think federal governments are also corrupt too, but I don't find it to be like a good, what's the word for it? I don't find it to be a very good system whenever you can go to one state and do something, and then in another state you go to jail for 20 years for it. Like, that doesn't really sound like the United States of America to me. I think there are nuances that you can leave up to the state that are fine, but big things like this that are, you know, affecting people's lives in a massive way, I think that these should be decided by the federal government. Ultimately, I think that the law is, you have to have people that respect the law. And I think what having laws like that are just so transparently circumstantial around where you're at geologically, or geographically, I think that what those laws really do is that they make people believe that it's like, well, it leads people to not respecting law in general. And I think that if you don't respect the law, and if you have a culture that doesn't respect the law, then I think you open yourself up for a lot of problems. You have to have people that respect the law. I didn't get a purple. I need a lot of the purples from this boss. Look at that. I only have 3 of them. It's like 3 out of what? 3 out of 8 or something like that? Oh, fuck. Well, it's great to protect business of the few who bought the law first. I don't really think so. I think that that can be true, but it's not always true. Others need to farm with other classes and drop on your warrior. Two-handed mace. It feels like a two-handed mace is going to drop for a warrior. Same with shields. Billionaires can be calls all the time. It's cost of doing business. Yeah, sure, but like all I'm saying is, like, I do think that putting somebody in jail for something and, like, you know, completely altering a person's life, it's like this is a state's right. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of that. Or just don't do the crime? Well, you can say that, but, and I think that is true, right? The best way to avoid having the government put you in jail is to not commit crime. Like, you're absolutely right about that. And I think that that is the case with a lot of people. And I think that, yeah, it's like, yeah, if you don't want to have like a problem or you know, some altercation with the police, it's like one way to avoid that is don't do something that gets the police called there in the first place. Totally fucking right. However, I don't think it's like that simple every time. I think you can use the logic very easy to not commit crimes. Well, let me give you an example, right? And so, like let's look at the vaccine, right? The COVID vaccine. If they made it against the law, or you were legally required to get the COVID vaccine, I think there would be a lot of people that said, fuck the law, right? But we don't care. So it's like, I do not find that the solution for this problem is fundamentally do not break the law. Because sometimes laws are, they're not a dictator of morality. And sometimes there are bad laws. The document, they say Congress can pass a law to protect abortions, just that Supreme Court didn't have authority to make Roe versus Wade. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Is it in here? I've never got one in here. It is. Holy shit. I'm gonna probably get like 5 more of these. I want to do something else. Farm Famu. Okay. Ah, fuck you. I gotta kill this piece of shit now. Okay, that's done. I'm just scared some crazy shit happens. Hopefully it doesn't come to violence, man. Well, the thing is, it's like, I think if it does really come down to like violence, I don't really think that it's that far off of people, people being okay with like the police just using force to stop people from like, you know, rioting and stuff. It's not really, it's not that far off. Civil War II? No, I don't think it's a Civil War II situation. Is it not violent whenever somebody takes away your rights? Well, there is a process to going about having laws changed. And whenever you circumvent that process because you feel like your grievance is important enough to be able to do that, then that's a problem for everybody else. Yeah, you can't just say, well, I'm really mad about this, so I get to ignore the rules. When my friend begins, that means you have no right to destroy people's stuff. I've always supported the police shutting down riots. Yeah, absolutely. Because I agree with you. Was it bad? Yeah. I think people have a, you know, they have a right to protest, but whenever a protest turns into destroying property or, like, I don't know, like trying to like block traffic or stuff like that, I do think that to a degree, police do have the responsibility even to stop that. Let that riots work? I don't think riots work at all. The reason why riots don't work is because riots scare people. And whenever people are scared, they'll look to somebody that will make them safe. And whenever that happens, who's going to make somebody safe from a riot? Well, that's going to be a super authoritarian person who will solve problems with the use of force. And that's exactly what they'll do. And I think guaranteed that's what's going to happen. Said overthrowing dictators usually goes with a lot of violence and riots. I'd say you're right overall. Yeah, but I think that with overthrowing a dictator or anything like that, I think that people are very sorely mistaken if they feel like this is an overthrowing a dictator situation, because most people, like, you have to understand, like, most people don't really, like, there's gonna be people a month from now that didn't even know what Roe versus Wade is. Like, they don't really care about it one way or another. They just want to have things, like, all they care about is, like, just for the streets to be clear and they can go to work without any problems and live their life. So, like, at the moment that you try to impose, like, a social cause onto an average person like that, you turn average people into your enemy. And whenever you do that, you will lose. Riots and protests banning a fascist nation. I don't think that you can really... I don't think that riots and protests are the same thing. I think rioting is banned in most places in the world. Riots whenever results of protests are ignored. Well, what happens whenever the results of protests aren't, like, I find that to be a very, that's the kind of stuff that people will type on Twitter without really putting any thought into it. Because there are a lot of times where the results of protests are not heard because the protest is not by the majority of people. It's by a small group of people who think that they're the majority. The Republican Party of Texas released? No, I didn't see it. I mean, let me guess. It's something about how abortion's bad. Like, I mean... like, I mean, if, like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of obvious what they're gonna say. Texas is making today a holiday. My dad got Jefferson Davis's birthday off and not Lincoln's. This is not something new. Whenever he was a kid. They called the Civil War the War of Northern Aggression. Those people always stack the deck in their favor. It's what they always do. Seem to be unglued and you're talking about loot boxes, but you're half asleep and you're talking about this. Why? Well, I don't think that, like, I think you have to understand that, you know, if I'm like, I think a lot of it is like being on camera. Whenever I'm on camera, I speak and act differently. It's like just something that I do. Gotcha, no offense meant. I feel like you kind of did mean to, I think that by saying that you were implying that I thought it wasn't important or something like that. It seemed very, I don't think it seemed like a, oh shit, I've got to go get that. Fuck, where is this? This is South losing. No, as I said, I think that this will be a very big, I think it'll be a very big turning point for conservatives. I think it's a very big win for conservatives. Even though it's like, it's not as big as people think it is, I don't think, because yeah, like the Congress can just make a law for it or something like that. It's a huge fucking win for them. Organic melon. Fuck. Is this inside or outside the instance? It's inside at the entrance? Okay, I'll go over there. Use a teleport? Oh yeah. I forgot I have that. Good point. Okay. Okay, nice. There's nothing else I had to buy here, right? No. And no. And what, this guy? Toy vendor. Okay, I already have that. Alright, let's go ahead and get back. You ever wonder if you might be a sociopath? Like, I agree with everything you say. Damn, you don't say it in the worst way possible. The reason why I say it in that kind of a way is because that's really what it is. There's a lot of people that they live in a world of delusion because they provide euphemisms for reality. There he is. Fucking got him. Jeez, that's a big boy. That is a big boy. Oh my god. We got him. I'm not really a big fan of this mount. Like, I think it's kind of weird. But it's alright, I guess. Yeah. People come after LGBT. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I mean, like, we'll see what happens, right? But yeah, that could happen for sure. Bufo, yeah, Bufo. Here's someone where I said the girls overturn same-sex marriage, birth control, etc. Yep. And if they do that, they're gonna get the thing is, like, I think that a lot of people vote for who they think is gonna win. It's just that simple. And I think that'll get a lot of people to just assume that conservatives are gonna win. A lot of people are idiots, huh? Yeah? Is this new? Yeah, duh. Got the ass, there we go. Okay. I should probably do some of these. I'll probably do... I'm debating. Like, I think I'll do... Maybe I'll do that later on. Alt right click. Okay, let's go talk to her. Where is this in society? I don't know. I think gay people should be able to get married. I don't think it's a big deal. Especially since it's like a legal thing, you know? It's like, it's one thing to say like, oh, churches don't have to recognize it. It's like, yeah, whatever, right? But if you're talking about like what somebody, what the fuck? Oh, this is 500? Holy fuck. Sorry for, oh wow, I didn't have this. Oh my god. Great. Damn, man, I wish I had known that. I fucking would have, I'd probably be done by now if I had known that. Shit. Whatever. It is what it is. Yeah, I think just in general, I don't like the idea of government telling people what they can and can't do. And it's like usually people on like an individual basis. I think if you want to talk about like government or like government telling like a business what to do, or you know, like like another like large apparatus what to do, then yeah, sure, of course. But like in terms of like a person's like own personal freedom, I think that should be pretty much up to them. They should be able to decide what they want to do and what they don't want to do. I think that's fair. The question is what constitutes personal freedom? Well, for me, right? What do I think is personal freedom? I think it's something if you want to be able to do something, you should be able to do it as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else. And you should be able to engage in consensual activities between another person in a general sense. Not necessarily every consensual activity, but I think in general that's what I would say. Should perversions have a view on abortion, opinion on abortion? Yeah, I think so. I think everybody should. I don't like the idea that only women should be able to have an opinion on abortion. I think that everybody should be able to have an opinion on it. It seems silly. What sort of the body? Well, like, I'll give you an example, right? I think women should be able to vote as to whether, like, circumcision should be legal or illegal. Like they should be able to say that too. Why are people question marking? Yeah, I don't understand. It seems weird. Circumcisions is viewed same with vasectomies. Yeah, I mean, whatever, right? What I'm saying is, like, there are plenty of, like, male-centric, surgeries. You don't know Bush Blue, the world we live in? I don't... People are just so, like... That's not... Nobody's saying that. Like, nobody said that. Like, it's just... You just completely, like, intentionally misunderstand. Like, it's just crazy. I mean, I'm not gonna... Yeah. Not gonna explain that. What I'm saying is that, like, if you relegate it to where the only thing that people can vote on are things that directly and specifically impact them, I think that you just get into, like, a million layers of involvement, and it's, like, just impossible to decide who can vote on what and who can't. Fuck. Yeah, listen to you talk, listen to the point entirely. Yeah, well, if people do that, I just ban them. I don't... The thing is, like, banning people is, like, my solution to pretty much everything. And it works really well. So, like, if somebody is annoying, I ban them. If somebody is rude, I ban them. If somebody is, you know, intentionally misunderstands what I'm saying, I just ban them. I just don't have any real tolerance for that at all. That's the way God intended. Yeah, true. Looks like these guys are gonna do FAMU themselves. Great. How do you know it's intentional misunderstanding? Well, I make a judgment call on it. Obviously. What do you think? I can read their mind? No, of course I can't read their mind. I'd make a judgment call, and I'm like, I think this is intentional misunderstanding. Inspired with? Guess what they're thinking. To me, it's like if somebody annoys me, I just ban them. Like, yeah, it's just that's the way I deal with things. Yeah, if somebody annoys me, I'm like, I don't like this. They're banned. More people should do that. Yeah, I think so too. Let's see here. I'm just saying majority of people don't want this, and Trump appointed 3 judges. Majority literally do want it. Democracy at work. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that, I mean, you can say that for sure. Okay. Try to get this kill again. %8 of people agree on abortion in some cases. Yeah, I think so. I think there are, like, I don't know. Like, I'd have to really read about this. But I think that there's probably a really large amount of people that don't think you should be able to get an abortion for any reason. Like, they think you should only be able to get it in, like, some circumstances. I don't know if it's, like, a 50% thing. But, like, I bet it's, like, probably at least 30 or 40% of people think that. Please Google this. Yeah, sure. I will actually. Yeah, because we have to wait for FAMU. Let me see. How many people support abortion in the USA? This is one here. I don't know if this is like really accurate or not. Today, 61% majority U.S. adults think abortion should be legal in all or most cases. 37% should be illegal in all or most cases. So I was right. It's 30-40%. So I was right. Okay. Wow. 30-40%'s a lot. It is. 37% against almost all. Well, you have to look at it from their perspective, right? From their perspective, it's like killing a baby. So, in their mind, it's like this is like a really, really bad thing. So it would make sense that that they'd be really outspoken about it. Your perspective doesn't matter. The funny thing about that is that they think your perspective doesn't matter. Like, that's exactly the way they feel about yours. Because of perspective, it's about facts and science. Well, I don't really think it is. I actually think this is primarily a moral argument, and you can't really make a definitively scientific judgment on it. Perspective, a Christian Republican. 70s says the same killing babies argument. Yeah, that's what they think. You said you believe that abortions is wrong a couple streams ago. Now you said that they. What did I say? Wait a second. Spark, what did I say a couple streams ago? What exactly did I say? Here we go. Where's the fucking FAMU, man? I could have sworn you said that it was wrong only in certain contexts, but now you're saying they. Well, that's not what I said. I never said that. You could have sworn no. See, like, is that what you think? Yes, yeah, I never said that. What I said is that abortion sucks. It's medieval, it's horrible. but I think it should be legal. That's what I said. That's what I'm referring to. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I said. I did not. That's not what you're referring to. I said it very clearly. I think it makes perfect sense. How's it medieval? Bro, you literally pull an unborn baby out of somebody's body and kill it, man. Like, that's medieval, man. It is medieval. Just call it what it is. What? You're not, like, and this is why so many people can't have conversation about it, is because they're in denial. That's literally what it is. I think there's people that it's weird the way that people use euphemisms and things like this to like kind of avoid reality. Okay. Let's do it. So a dentist is too. I'm not I'm not following your line of logic. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. If you don't believe the other side's argument, you have to understand it. Yeah. Tell me what a baby is, and maybe you know what you're killing during abortion. Well, I said it's an unborn baby, right? So it's like, yeah, that I think that's pretty fair. Sure. It's a fetus? Sure. I mean, that doesn't change, like, yeah, it's a fetus, big difference. I don't know. I don't think it's a big difference at all. I don't. Those guys are dying on this hill? Yeah, it's just weird. This character. When do you think it should be made illegal? I don't really care. I think in general it's probably better if somebody doesn't want to have a kid, they don't have to. I think that's just it's just better for society. You don't have, like, you know, people having kids that they're not supposed to have. Like, the thing is, like, we live in a world of limited resources and limited time. And I think that we should allocate those resources in the best way possible. And it's like, if people don't even want to have a kid, why not try to look at something else? Like, why is this really a problem? Oh, there's a big difference in baby and fetus. Not trying to be confrontational, it's just factually true. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think a fetus can be a baby, right? I mean, I think you can make the argument that, like, a fetus is going to turn into a baby, right? And if you stop it from happening, you are effectively killing a baby. This is true. I think that should just be legal, though. That's what I think. When people get upset about this because they try to contextualize what an abortion is with these euphemisms, But yeah, I think it's pretty fucking savage. I do think it's medieval. Yeah, they're coping with it. It's important to know what you're talking about, isn't it? That should be illegal if it's savage and medieval. I just think the alternative is worse. That's all. But logic stopping a baby from being born, masturbation would be murder. I don't think that's logically true. Yeah, it's not logically true. Dumbass take. Yeah. I mean, it's a Facebook level take, right? I mean, what do you expect? Holy shit, that's a big one. God damn. During a development cycle, they don't feel the same way baby does. Big difference. I agree, abortion is a no light decision to make. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, you're right, it's earlier on. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, I would not, I'm not arguing that. Ethereal got a publisher? I'm not surprised, man. Right, stances. Abortion savage should be legal in the title so people don't ask again. People just get upset about it because I think that people don't like really confronting what something really is oftentimes. And so they whenever you confront it, you're like, well, this is what it really is. I think that people get upset about it because I think there's a lot of, there are many people who want so badly, they want to be like the, they want to be like the morally righteous person, right? They want to do the right thing. They want to be the good person. And I think whenever you put it in front of them in a way that's not really comfortable, they get upset about it because now they can't continue to they can't continue to do that. It's harder for them to do that. Holy fuck, when's this gonna drop, man? There we go. Fuck. Man, fuck you. You probably just, I'm not even gonna join that. I don't think it's normal for somebody that doesn't understand abortion. Well, I'm just curious, like, what you think I don't understand. Like, what do I not understand here? Yeah, it's not rocket science. Fetal development. I think that there's an argument to be made that as soon as, you know, you're pregnant, if you just let things happen naturally, you're like that pregnancy will result in a kid, right? I think that's logical. Like in most natural cases, not always. Oh wow, not always. What a surprise! Something doesn't always happen a certain way. Well, thank you so much for adding your insight into the world. Not always. Thank God. Thank God you're so smart for understanding that there's a difference. And something doesn't always happen. Holy fuck, man. Most annoying people. Exception Andes. Oh, but what about... I got next character. It's true though, biology's never concrete. There's a lot of things in the world that aren't concrete, man. Almost nothing is concrete in the world. I guess I boosted this character, so I should be able to play it. Almost nothing is concrete. Bigger issue is banning abortion 100% endangers women who've had partial miscarriage and will die if the remaining fetus isn't removed. Yeah, I think that's true. Okay, I have daggers apparently. Do I have swords? No, I only have daggers. Okay. What do I have to do here? I guess just pick my covenant, and then I will go kill Famu on this character. The medical issues where the fetus is non-viable. I will say the fetus is removed. Removal is now legal in your state. Why are you telling me this? Let's just... why are you telling me this? Okay. Notice every you take raises a one-dimensional view with all brutal things and to be actively bound. I mean, for example, I think the death penalty is fucking brutal. It's a brutal medieval thing. And I think that we should have the death penalty. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, not that. Never mind. Okay. Feel really having fun in here today? You could say that. Yeah, I don't know about fun, but yeah, they're having something. They certainly are. Don't agree with death penalty, we kill too many innocent people. Yeah, I don't care. I think it's good enough most of the time. Of course you're gonna sometimes kill innocent people. Just live with anything, nothing's perfect. It's upsetting, isn't it? To just have to acknowledge what it is. There's a lot of people that are upset about this. That I said something that's so obvious that everybody believes, but people want to tell themselves they don't. That's the reality, man. The fuck? Why can't I do this? Oh, there we go. I'm just gonna go over to Revendreth. You think everyone thinks life starts with contraception? No, of course not. When did I ever say that? Check out New World PTR, it's not half bad. Maybe I should. Straw Man's Return, yep. Oh my god. The old adage though, it's better to let 10 criminals go free than imprison one innocent. Yeah, I don't believe it. Is it better to let 100 criminals go free or imprison one innocent? Is it better to let 1,000 criminals go free than imprison one innocent? Because everybody knows there's a line. Because there is an acceptable rate of mortality. And people, it's not comfortable to admit this, but it's true. Sometimes innocent people get killed, and that's all there is to it. And there has to be a line where it's like, okay, well, we can accept this level of mistake. I don't think it's worth that, though. Then do you think we shouldn't have jails? Because you can never know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, most crimes. Like, I would say, like, the Johnny Depp thing. What certainty level are you that Johnny Depp is telling the truth and that Amber Heard is not? I would say 99%. 95 to 99%. But it's not 100. You go through 100 of those cases, then you're going to probably have a case where things are not how they seem to be. I have a lot of mounts here. A lot of these mounts are 1% mounts. And you know what? 1% happen all the time. And if you're afraid of doing something because of a small percentage of something, then you'll do nothing. Unless it's Gmod, yeah, true. Very fucking true. Okay, I did enough damage. It's a weird comparison. No, it's not a weird comparison at all. All I'm saying is even one innocent dead, when there's a jail option. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't find it to be more what's the word for it? I don't find it to be like more like morally righteous to just imprison somebody for life than kill them. I do not think this is like a much better thing to do. I think they're both bad. One option's not reversible. Yeah, most people just sit in jail forever anyway. Most of them aren't reversible anyway. I mean, there's a lot of people who get put in jail for something that they didn't do. It doesn't happen as much now because a lot of the times that it used to happen, it was racially motivated. I'm talking about like, you know, the mid, you know, like 1950s. But it still does happen. Yeah, but they can get released. They can. Most of them don't, though. Don't get your time lost back. Next being executed is reversible. Yeah, but like you also have like the money that like it costs. It costs a lot of money to put somebody in jail. It's more expensive to execute? That sounds like a problem with the executions to me. Everybody knows that doesn't have to be the case. Fuck, I need to do 2 more of these. It's more expensive as soon as you can appeal and execution, and it'll zap people instantly. So you're saying it's more expensive to, like, I don't know. I have a good feeling that putting somebody in jail for like 30 years is going to cost more money than an appeal. It's not true. Process costs more for whatever reason. Let me see. Death penalty is far more expensive. Life without parole sentences, alternative punishment. Deathpenaltyinfo.org. So that this is saying that death penalty is a moral issue. For other people it's not. Why is it so expensive? Yeah, if it costs more money, then we shouldn't do it. Yeah, my understanding on this was that the cost way, yeah, then you shouldn't do it. To be honest, I had no idea. My understanding on this is this. I thought that it cost more money because I've read the same thing. But my understanding was that it cost more money because of the execution method. I didn't think that they were including appeals. That was my understanding as well. Yeah, I mean, if it legitimately costs way more money to, like, basically, you have to look at it from my perspective. I don't really put, like, I don't know. Actually, I don't really know a way to say this. This doesn't make me sound like a psycho, so never mind. Finally, fucking get this one done. Is morality based on money spent? Yeah, basically. Like, I don't really care about most people, and I just, in my mind, like, I just do whatever is best for the most people, whatever is the most efficient, and that's about it. I don't really think about, I don't have a lot of morality. It's min-maxing, yeah. Would rehabilitation be cheaper since it would reduce recidivism? I don't know. I mean, I think there is like a certain point where, like, if somebody is like a, you know, if like somebody's like killing kids or something like that, right? Like it's an interesting thought exercise, right? Where, because I do think that people want to have, like, it's like a core human desire to want to have a like a punishment for something, right? To punish somebody for doing something bad. Like, let's say you could go inside somebody's brain and like reset their mind and make it to where like they don't think what they think. Like, you can completely rewire them and completely change them. Would people be okay with somebody who's like, let's say, a school shooter, right? That's a pretty extreme example. A school shooter who gets their brain rewired, going back out into society. Now, I think most people would still want to kill him. Even if you could completely remove whatever the problem is that caused them to do that. No brain rewiring ever, highly unethical. If you want me to be honest, like, if somebody's a school shooter, I don't really care what happens to him. I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a fuck. Memory loss seems like more likable. Yeah, something like that. Or since they get to know what happened, they did, and they'd be fucked up again anyway. Yeah, sure. I mean, it's hard to say. But what I'm saying is I think there's a lot of people who, they do want some level of retribution. What's the reason why schools? I think the reason why people shoot up schools is because it's like a very high pinnacle of, what do you call it? Like a moral protest, you could say. Right? It's like they're thinking of like this is it's the worst possible thing you could do. I think a lot of people like hate the world, and so they want to do whatever is the most evil thing that they can do as like a protest against the world. I think there's that's part of it. I think another part of it is that it's like a higher chance that you can kill more people in a school because there's like probably less people that are armed because they're kids. That's probably a factor. And also attention for sure. And also like schools, like everybody knows where schools are. So like there might be other places where it would be even better to like there's a higher chance you could kill even more people, but like people don't regularly interface with those places as often. So schools are the one place that everybody knows about. Does that make sense? So that's why I think it happens in schools a lot. It's an easy target. Yeah. Fuck. Another day. That's kids who went to schools, so it's a form of payback for their mistreatment. Yeah, I think that's another factor, right? Is they could be related to that school. Teachers are authorized to carry. I think they'd be allowed to carry in schools. I don't think that there's a. I don't want to have like a third grade teacher that brings a gun to school. Like I think a solution to that is like much better solution to that is like you just have why I think that there's too much... There's too much that could go wrong. So, there are a lot of times like, yeah, there are more guns equals less violence. No, I don't think that's always true. So like, for example, like a teacher gets in a physical altercation with a student. That teacher might be licensed to have a gun, but they might not be licensed and able to deal with that problem as much as like a police officer. So for example, if, you know, a student gets in like a physical altercation with like a student gets in a physical altercation with a student gets in there with a teacher, right? And so if you have a gun involved, the chances of that going bad go up exponentially. Well, police don't have much training either. I think that a high school teacher is going to have substantially less training than, let's say, a police officer. In my opinion, a better solution is, you know, having like in my school, for example, we had a police station on the campus because there was so much crime in my school and in my area that we just had a straight up fucking police station on the campus, police officers everywhere all the time. And I'll tell you, there was nothing. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody did anything wrong. Yeah, it's like you did not fuck around. What types of crime? Somebody got killed. It was like a few years before I went there. I think they got stabbed. And then somebody got shot as well. And then there was a lot of gang stuff too. Like, I remember one time they pulled all the Crips into the fucking classroom, and I had to go in there to fix a computer. And there was like 5 guys there, and they're like, man, I just wanted to wear blue today. Like, why am I here? Like, it's really funny. One sec. Similar speaker on experiences in life, ones you continuously prove you don't think broad enough to think outside suggestions. I pity people like that. So what have I said that you disagree with? Would a police officer prevent a sniper round 100 yards out or not? Can you say something about driving a car from a parking lot right through English class? I think that you're dumb and I'm banning you. This is a very common thing that people do, is that unless something solves a problem 100% of the time, these people think that it's not possible, that it's not a good solution. There's nothing that's going to solve a problem all the time. What else do I need to farm? I need to do this, but I don't want to. I probably should go do more of the, oh, I have to get that. Nobody retards paramount. No, the thing is, like, there's people that come up with like these examples of things that are like not really very smart. So like, people look at it and they say like, well, because you can't get rid of something, then you shouldn't try to mitigate it, which is like not really true. There are a lot of cases where you try to mitigate it. Do you ban anyone that disagrees with you? Sometimes, yeah. The thing is, like, I'm pretty confident that I know what I'm talking about. And I think you guys can see, like, for the example with, like, the death penalty. It's like, yeah, if it costs more money, then we shouldn't have it. I'm not morally opposed to it, but if it costs more money, then it's less effective. So I'll change my viewpoint on something if I'm presented with evidence of the contrary. But most people don't present evidence, they're just stupid and they're mad that I don't agree with them. That's all there is to it. Have you changed the execution method? It's not because of the execution method. Yeah, it's apparently the process. And I do think that if you're gonna kill somebody, you should have to be really sure about it. Like with a, oh my god, like not just, oh, oops, we picked off the wrong person, right? You should have like extra levels of certainty for it, because there are mistakes that can happen. Yeah, you need due process, and so like, yeah, if you have a if you have a perspective like that, I mean, to me it's like, I just care about saving the money. So like, if it's not saving money, then it's not worth doing. So we did all of these. I'll do a couple of runs of this. Do layer 13 and higher. I think people appeals that don't deserve any, that's the problem. No, I think you have to be able to give everybody a system doesn't really work if you can just decide sometimes that you can't follow, you don't have to follow it. Yeah, you have to have like a uniform system where there's like the same level of accountability for actions. It's beyond reasonable doubt, then go ahead. Well, I think that's why you have the appeals, right? As assets, point of being assets. The thing is, I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about it. As I said before, I think that most of the people that will like try to disagree with me on stuff are usually just doing it because they're dumb, and or they're misinterpreting it intentionally. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I listen to other people's perspective on things, but not always. An arrogant thing to say. Yeah, I think I'm right, and I think most other people aren't right. I think a lot of the people that go in and try to like argue and stuff like that are just dumb.